Hello YouTube and welcome back to World of Warships with Wadres. And today I've got a couple of decent battles for you, if I do say so. I have the first one here in my Grosse Kurfürst, and the second one is going to be in my USS Missouri. Now, these are both high-tier battleships, and for anybody who's watched my channel, maybe not necessarily recently, but a couple of months back when I was just kind of getting my channel going, one of the things that I stated, and it is something that is still particularly true today, is that I am a battleship main. So these are the ships that I know and love, and I always have fun trying to get as much performance out of them as I can. The downside being, of course, that there are some cases where it's just like, I can only get one or two salvos off because the team just seems to be overly efficient or whatever, and that's about all I can manage. Well, these battles are very, very much not that case. In fact, as I said, these are actually going to be some pretty decent damage battles. And well, I guess the cards just kind of work in my favor in that regard for these matches more than anything else. Between the course the enemy ships take, and just my overall RNG. And yeah, so anyway, one of the things that I will say is that just kind of talking about my captain builds here real quick. For both of my ships that you're about to see, especially since the 8.0 update went through, I've actually kind of done a little bit of respecking for secondaries on my Missouri, at least for the time being, because the AA is kind of worthless in co-ops. And, well, of course the GK, if I spec it for anything other than secondary batteries, I think the vast majority of the population would just have my head on a stake. But that's beside the point. These secondary batteries on this thing are just beastly strong. And yeah, it's definitely going to stand out very much in this match, because I am in consistent close quarters with just about all of the enemy ships here. Ooh, nice citadel on the Salem. Unfortunately, the Hipper goes down before my secondaries can really open up on her. But, you know what? I've still got many more targets on the other side. That Musashi's looking like a nice juicy target. Let's see. Dispersion, yeah, not so great. How about this shot? One citadel, I can take that. That's respectable. Of course, the enemy Buffalo got taken out by a friendly teammate, so a little bit of a nice bonus there. Unfortunately, it also means that I have to retest my secondaries. So unfortunately, I did not actually retask them for the Musashi, I believe. Oh, wait, yes I did. So they're gonna open up on the Musashi, but, well, let's just say the Musashi didn't really last long enough to rake in too many of secondary battery hits. This enemy Grosse Kurfürst, though, it's gonna get worked over real good. Yeah. That number's just gonna keep on climbing, ain't it? Now, I've already done, what, 128,000 damage, and just about the remainder of this match is gonna be farmed on this GK, just because the only thing left is the enemy Yamato on the other side of the map, and it's actually gonna get knocked out before the GK is. And unfortunately, because the enemy hasn't had any captures or really done anything noteworthy as far as ship kills, we basically just end up zeroing them out and winning this match hands down. So at this point, I'm really just kind of trying to farm as much damage as I can before the enemy team is thoroughly overwhelmed here. Oh geez, 212, 220, 230. Just look at the secondary battery hits tick away there. Ay, ay, ay. So, yeah, respectable match. 187,000 damage done, 196,000 credits earned, 2018 experience points, 425 free EXP, 41 main battery hits, 4 aircraft shot down, though I think those were all spotters from the GK, 2 ship kills, 5 citadels, 4 of those were on that rather unfortunate Musashi, and 305 secondary battery hits. 305. God, geez, this thing is a beast when it comes to those secondary batteries, man. Wow, just... Ay, ay, ay. Team score. 529 base experience points earned for the match, so definitely a respectable match in a nice tier 10 top tier battleship. 151,000 damage done just from the main battery, 143,000 of that done with armor-piercing shells. Secondaries themselves did about 29,000 damage, and I got 7,000 damage from fires that were set by my secondaries. And, I mean, just look at these numbers. They're outstanding. So 6,000 damage just to the GK by my secondaries alone. 3,000 done to the Salem, 16,000 by my secondaries to that Buffalo. I mean, these secondaries are definitely nothing to sneeze at. And on top of that, I even tanked 1,009,000 damage in this match. And that number was just kind of ticking away too as the GK tried to work me over with its secondaries as well. And of course, coming to the net earnings for the match, 107,000 credits earned net. And my commander, which is the 19-point commander that I've been tailoring for my German battleships, earns almost 2,600 experience points, which gets converted over to Elite Commander experience. And this is also with very few bonuses, so this is pretty much my straight raw numbers for the most part. Now, if you thought I couldn't do any better than that, I think you're going to be in for a little bit of a surprise, because I think I can definitely top that in my Missouri. Now, this one I do kind of have to work for a little bit, but it definitely pays off in the long run. I do apologize. I tend to start off my videos about the same time the match actually starts, just because, again, I like showing that the match just doesn't just jump into action. You do still have a little bit of time to go before you actually engage the opponent. So I apologize if there are any of my viewers who dislike that aspect, but I like being true to the matches in their entirety. So I hope you can at least respect that in that regard. Now, something else that I'm sure you all have probably noticed in some of my videos is at the start of the match, I'll just randomly pick an island at distance or whatever, and I'll pop off some rounds. And, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. It's not like I'm shooting at friendlies or anything like that, so I'm at least respectable in that regard. I don't know, I like doing it kind of as a salute to the match or whatever. I don't know why I do it, honestly. I think it's actually something that I got into a habit of early on in my Warships career, I guess I could say. And mainly because it's just getting that sense, the feel for the guns and how they might perform a little bit in the match. I guess that's my opinion on it. And this is something that I will also do as a matter of habit with ships that I have experience with, but it's also something that I will do with new ships especially, because I want to have a feel for the guns before I even engage the enemy, so that I can understand where my shells are going to go, what my dispersion is going to look like, so on and so forth. It just gives me a good feel for how the guns are going to behave in that match from that ship. And obviously, as I get more used to a ship, I do it less and less. I'll maybe pop off one salvo at the start of a match just for grins and whatever. Now, I did get one lucky citadel on that enemy rune at range. Don't worry, I'm going to be seeing more of him in a little bit. But I definitely have much closer targets to worry about at this point. Cleveland isn't so much of a concern. It's, I mean, sure, okay, it's a minor threat, but, I mean, Cleveland's a Cleveland. Any battleship worth his salt can deal with a Cleveland at these kind of ranges. Just kind of have to actually have a shot, you know? Unfortunately, yeah, that shot's... Well, it's satisfactory at least. I got 14,000, but it's still kind of disappointing because, you know, I was hoping for those bow citadels, but I guess I kind of caught the upper armor belt and really only penetrated without plunging in too deep. And the second salvo didn't exactly do much better, but, I mean, I'll take it. It wasn't lousy. Of course, now I'm a little bit closer to the enemy Bismarck. Friendlies take care of the Cleveland, or finish it off for me. And, well, 25,000 for two guns on the Bismarck is definitely respectable. Now, again, unfortunately, I'm not going to get to finish off the Bismarck. The friendly Ataco is going to take care of that. But, I mean, I at least did a good chunk of damage to it. Now, one of the things that I wanted to mention again is that for this match, at least for the time being, until the CVs are reintroduced for bots and co-op, I have a couple of my previously AA spec ships that have just been respec for secondaries. This is my Montana and my my Missouri specifically. And, I mean, they're not exactly bad ships when it comes to their secondary batteries. They have decent secondaries themselves. It's just that they're not ships that are commonly spec'd for their secondaries, because they are far better known for their phenomenal AA suites. The trade-off being here that if there's no aircraft to shoot down, what else am I going to spec it for, aside from concealment, which isn't really a major concern as far as I'm concerned for battleships. And the only other real bonus is secondaries. So yeah, I'm going to go with secondaries. I am one of the firm believers that concealment in a battleship is basically worthless. So I would rather have as much invested in my firepower as I possibly can for whatever is most worthwhile. Now, unfortunately, I do pull a bit of a Notzer here and ground myself on this little spur of the island here, trying to finish off the enemy Missouri. Or, no, Tirpitz, sorry. But, I mean, definitely could have been in worse positions. At least here, I can still fire over the island and land some decent hits on that enemy Atago. But, as has been the case for the majority of this match, once again, I am not going to get to finish off the target. So, yeah. But at that, I have already done 123,000 damage in this match. And that number's really just going to keep ticking away. I've also tanked about 750,000 damage so far. There's another citadel on the rune. Just trying to do as much as I can with my long-range gunnery here. I mean, Lord knows that these ranges RNG is more of a bitch than anything else. But, you know what? You just gotta deal with it as you can. trying to do as much damage as I can in the time given, and finally land another citadel and finish off the enemy rune. 152,000 damage done. Now, fortunately, this is one of those matches where we actually, the enemy has actually managed to cap something. So we actually are in the position of being able to finish off the entire enemy team for a change. This is something that I've actually been running into a lot in co-op matches, where for whatever reason it seems like the matches just finish way too quickly, the enemy isn't allowed to get caps, the enemy doesn't really get any kills, and as a result we get like 5 or 6 kills and the match is over. Which, honestly, I find it more than a little bit annoying. I think Wargaming actually needs to increase the initial cap count just so that you can at least get all ship kills instead of having to worry about zeroing out the enemy before the enemy team is just completely done for. Now, granted, I'm sure for random matches there are some players who would complain about that, but as far as co-op battles go, it would be really nice to have the opportunity to kill all instead of, yeah. Anyway, farming some decent damage on that Missouri, and finally, last shot, 7,000 damage, gets me up to 203,000 damage done for the match. 6 citadels overall, 2 ship kills, 54 main battery hits, and for a ship that is not generally spec'd for secondary batteries, 135 secondary battery hits, so respectable in that regard as well. Of course, this is the Missouri, so it has some phenomenal credit earnings, 345,000 credits earned for this match, and 2,259 experience points, 475 free EXP. So very respectable numbers all around, and of course, more than enough to be top of the team. 657 base experience points earned, almost twice that of the friendly Jervis in second place. And coming into the details, 191,000 damage done just from my main batteries. My secondaries did 9,000 damage, and from the fires that were set by my secondaries, about 2,000 damage. Overall, 1.17 million damage tanked for potential damage, and just very respectable damage numbers all around here. 50,000 to the Missouri, 42 to the Rune, 48 to the Tirpitz, 31 to the Bismarck. Very, very good, solid numbers here. And of course, for final credit earnings, 237,000 credits earned net for the match after all of the takeaways. No actual bonuses really here to the earnings either, so there is that. And yeah, my commander earned 5,600 experience points. Anyway, on that note, I hope you all enjoyed the video. Please do not forget to like and subscribe. And I hope you all enjoy this video in its entirety. Have a good one, take care, and happy hunting out there, folks.